Well, good morning, everybody, and here I am on the road again on a rainy Thursday morning, and it's the 20th of November. 10 more days, and we'll be headed to Quartzsite. We're in 2025, and I am on my way to my doctor to just get a blood draw. I was a tiny bit disappointed that they didn't just do the blood draw at the last session, that I had to go in and schedule one that was like 2 weeks out. But it's not like there's anything wrong and there's any kind of urgency about it. It's just sort of a routine thing. But then I have to go back again next week to actually meet with the doctor to go over the results of the blood test. And that's my last week here in Artesia until March when I come back. So it's cold. It's 50 degrees. I've got the heat on in the truck here, and I just realized it's a little too hot. Let's turn that down a little bit. It went from shivering to, man, that's too much heat. So what else is going on? I was just watching Deborah Dickinson, and author Deborah Dickinson, or just plain Deborah Dickinson. You can find her channel. She's I would say my YouTube mentor. I've known her for 30 years, and she's a YouTube channel that she started doing long before me, has many more subscribers, and she did a video on the monumental task that she had taken on in packing up she lives in a home base just like me, and she was packing stuff up ready to go to her next destination for the winter. And boy, she worked hard. She worked hard to do that. That's not easy to do. To break camp, pack everything up, making sure that you have everything that you need, especially now. You add the element of a home base like I did this year, and she did this year. You end up putting a lot of stuff in your little casita, in your storage unit. You both have one each of those, and it's very convenient until you decide, well, I'm going to leave for 3 months. Well, what stuff do I need to leave and what stuff do I need to take? And you don't want to make mistakes, right? Think about it. It's like, I don't want to get a 2-day drive away and discover there's 5 things that I should have brought with me that I really need. What will happen is I'll end up buying new things and having duplicates, and that's such a waste. So I have to do exactly the same thing. In a little over a week, that Saturday, a week from Saturday, I'll be spending the entire day getting my rig ready to pull out first thing Sunday morning. So what I've done is as I'm sitting in my casita, I keep adding to the list of things that I encounter in there that I know I want to take with me. So it's a list that's way longer than I thought it was going to be. And so far I haven't thought of anything that's in the trailer that I'm going to put in the casita, other than, things on the porch that I'm going to put in and lock up and everything. And I need to unplug everything, make sure there's no electricity running, because I'd have to pay for that. So then the physical part of hooking up the trailer and putting everything away, it's physically pretty hard. So I know Deborah made it to her first overnight place, and she got there safely and is hanging out for there for a couple of days to try to reset and regroup, which is a great idea. It's what I'm going to do when I'm going to Quartzsite, and I'm going about halfway there to Rover's Roost, where I'm going to do a video on them, a place where you can buy an RV place, like kind of like what I'm doing or what I've done. And I'm going to do a video on that, how you do that, what it looks like, what the pluses and minuses are of that particular one. I'm excited to do that, but it broke, if I drove straight through, it's about 10 and a half, 11 hours. I can do that, but I don't want to do that. It's grueling. And, at my age, grueling on the road, at the end of the day becomes dangerous, I think. I want to, be safe on the road, and being tired or fatigued on the road is not safe. So I break it up, and a 5-hour day, it's not, what do I want to say? It's not super easy, but it's not very difficult. Ideally, 3 hours would be, if I were going on a long trip, a marathon trip, say coast to coast, I would plan it out, and I would do it 3 hours a day and take my time. 3 hours a day, I think, is a nice, safe pace for us seniors over 60. Now, some of you are going to vehemently disagree. There are people, I have known people that are 70 and they go 12 hours a day. Everybody's different. So I'm talking averages. Actually, what am I talking about? I'm just talking about me. I'm not talking about anybody else. So, so I am early. How early am I? I am at 7:51. I'm 30 minutes early. So you know what? I might, if I happen to do another food truck, I might do another food truck. There's maybe time to do that. It's 8:20. I need to be in there. It's 7:51. So I've got 29 minutes. If I find one on the way there, that should be easy peasy. Well, let's see what we see. And if I stumble onto one right on the route, I'll whip in, I'll do a video, and I'll buy like a breakfast burrito, which I cannot eat until after the blood test. So what it'll be is I'll shoot everything except for the eating part, and save the eating part for in the car after the blood draw. Boy, I feel really grateful and lucky after talking to some people that are getting their insurance quotes, health insurance quotes for next year. Not just people that are on the Affordable Care Act that are getting just massive increases, but regular folk. I mean, the prices are going up substantially. People are paying well over $1,000 a month for their family to have insurance. And just the fact that I've gotten, at this point in my life, I have Medicare, and I have the Medicare supplement, and a really robust medication thing, all of which costs me like $430 a month total, and the out-of-pocket for everything but the drugs is 200 I think it's this year it's 208. No, actually it's I think it's about $311 is the max out of pocket for me for all the medical stuff except for medications. And I think the medications thing is, I think last year my out of pocket was $350, $400, something like that. I think it'll be more this year. I'm going to guess this year it'll be $600 or $700. But when you compare that to, some the people paying $1,000 a month, and keep in mind, it says you pay that much for medications. Well, I have a medication that the cash price is like $1,290 a month. So keep that in mind. If I didn't have that medication, my out of pocket for the few remaining meds that I have would be like $100, something like that. $120, like $10 a month. Boy, it is a rainy day in town. So I think what I'm going to do is switch this around so you can see the rainy road in town here. And there's the rainy road in town. I didn't want you to miss this fascinating view. So we're going to look for maybe a breakfast burrito food truck on the way in. I was doing a little research online and I have a vague idea where one might be. I saw an article about best towns to retire in New Mexico, and it included Artesia, Roswell, which is, pretty close to here, and Taos, which is really close to where I stay in Eagle Nest. Also included was Silver City, and Deborah Dickinson used to have her annual meetups in City of Rocks State Park, which is near Silver City. So I spent quite a bit of time running into Silver City. So that was nice to see that. Another one was Ruidoso, which is not far from here either. And I think I stayed at a state park near there. So that's how I got to know Ruidoso. And for the life of me, I can't remember the state park that was near there. For 2 summers, I traveled all over New Mexico with a New Mexico State Park pass, going from state park to state park. It was a lot of fun. New Mexico state parks are really, really nice. So there's the one on the left I've already done, and I actually did a breakfast burrito. And is there one on the other? I saw on the map there might be another one on the other side. Yeah, there's one here. I don't think they're open. See the black one on the left there? Yeah, they're not open. That must be a like a lunch and dinner place. We'll have to check that out. But I did mark that one for the future. So right now we're 20 minutes away, so there's not going to be time to stop anywhere. This place on the right with the open sign, it's not a truck, but it's a small place with it's just this ice and water. Huh. Interesting. So we're going to wind our way over to the hospital. No, I'm not going to the ER. My family practice place where I go is at the hospital. It's in that building. Oh, I don't have a stop sign. They're waiting for me. So this is definitely the time of day at, what is it, 8 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, 8 a.m. You got to keep an eagle eye for school zones, especially if you're new to town like me or not familiar with them, because that's a serious thing to really follow that speed limit or less, and then also really paying attention to school buses, being alert and not being distracted. When I was a firefighter in Texas, I remember responding to a pedestrian child hit by a car in front of a school bus, and I'm pretty sure the child survived, but he was life flighted out of there really, really quickly. But I ended up being the one to spend time with the woman that hit him, and she was, as I recall, she was a school teacher, and a moment of distraction turned her life and the life of that child and their family upside down. You know, how did I feel about her? I was like, kind of, wow. I'm thinking, well, I really should have been paying more attention. But then I got thinking, am I capable of being distracted and something like that happening to me or happening with me? You don't want to say when something like that happens, it happened to you, it happened to someone else, but it happened by me. It was hard. It was hard to process the feelings that I had about this. And all right, I probably need, because I'm not seeing any super obvious signs or anything, or even on my map to go to the hospital. I think it's down here, but maybe I should put in, okay, let's pull over here and let's look at the map. I don't want to be late because I'm talking to you, right? So let's put in hospital. HOS. Hospitals. 0.2 miles. I'm darn close. So I do want to, I passed it, but it's going to have me route sort of around the corner here. That's okay. So it wouldn't have been something had I mapped that out while I was driving. That would have been, boy, I'd find my picture in the dictionary under hypocrite. And there's so many temptations, right? So many temptations to divert our attention when we're driving. Like, you know, there are people that argue, well, you shouldn't be driving and recording your YouTube video. Well, I don't look at anything when I'm doing it, and I don't see any difference between talking to you and talking to someone in the passenger seat, which we all do routinely. And y'all, you all know I'm not using a script, that's for sure. And look, I was pretty close. My instincts to stop and go, I think you're close, were pretty darned good, weren't they? So you think this is a pretty big campus, isn't it? Big hospital. Service entrance. Well, that's not right, but we'll cut through the parking lot here. Back in there to the left is the cafe that I'd gone to. It's a great boy. I was just, I did a video and I was going on and on like I discovered gold for the first time, talking about number one, how good the breakfast was, and it was $5 with tax. and they wouldn't even take a tip. Like, whoa. And a couple of people got on the comments and says, it's nice that you're so excited, but it's hard to believe that this is new to you, that hospitals are a great deal on food. It was news to me. I had no idea. I'd never gone out of my way to eat in a hospital. I think a couple of times, like I've been visiting people and I might get a snack. There's plenty of close parking here. And how early am I? Who can tell me? All right. Well, this isn't a live stream, so that's a pretty stupid question. It's a little bit of a dummy question. Yeah, I'm a little picky about how I park because I like to be in the exact center so I don't impede on spots on either side. So it's probably a good thing I didn't stop because it's 8:07, which means I have just 13 minutes before I don't think that would have been enough time to shoot a little video. So that's something for another day. Hang on just a second. Okay, so I thought you'd be interested. The one I shot yesterday, and I think it was in this morning's, well, by the time you see this, it's day before yesterday. But as I'm talking, it happened yesterday. So the time elapsed since I uploaded the video was I uploaded it right around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it's now 8 a.m. the next day. There's already 3,200 views on it. So people are really liking, the local people are really liking these food truck videos. So I'll come back to you after I come back and I had some questions for them. This is a new doctor for me. One is, I think there's a patient portal, but I couldn't figure out how to get out there. How do I get in there and see the results of my blood tests? And also, when I'm on the road or when I need a refill for a prescription, how do I do that? So I'll let you know what they say. See you in a few. So I went to the restaurant again. And this is the California style quesadilla. And it is friggin' amazing. That's only half of it. So good. So we'll have to go back again because ran into this very charming young woman in line, and she recognized, well, sort of recognized me, but recognized my video from when I was in here before. And here, how are we doing on time? I have 40 minutes before my appointment, so plenty of time to get home. So we're going to back out of here and let's turn this around. Look at that. It's raining. It really started coming down big time. I got really wet just the short walk out from the cafe to the car. And I think I need to... There we go. So she said, you need to come for lunch. She said, the burgers are amazing. It's like an 8-ounce patty and it's freshly made, and it's $5 too. The quesadilla was $5. These hamburgers with fries, $5. It's just, I'm sorry. It's just crazy. So I'm still struggling a little bit with exactly where things are in town here, but I'm getting better. And I'm saying that only because I just had to put in the GPS to make sure, do I go right or left here? I wasn't quite sure. But this is what a very rainy fall day looks like in downtown Artesia. So I went to remind you, I went today to get blood draw. And the phlebotomist was in training. She was obviously very new and she was under direct supervision there. But I was so glad that I was able to, as an ex-paramedic, I was very sympathetic in how hard it is to draw blood or, start an IV. It's basically the same thing. Just with an IV, you're putting in fluid. With a blood draw, you're drawing out fluid. But the technique of getting the needle into the vein is the same. And we need to change lanes here. Some wiseacre got on the channel, by the way, this is an aside, and said, by the way, he gives him the time marker, you're not allowed to change lanes in the middle of an intersection. It's a violation of the law. And I'd come up to an intersection, realized it was in the wrong lane, so I shifted over when I went through the intersection. And as it turns out, of course, when I look to make sure, no, it's not. It is not a violation of the law. So it annoys me when people accuse me of breaking a law, and they're completely wrong. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Feel free to look up New Mexico traffic law. You're allowed to do that when it's safe to do so. So whether I change lanes here or whether I change lanes in the middle of this intersection up here, as long as it's safe to do so, it's within the law. So anyway, back to the phlebotomist. She was new, and I was watching her, and she, when she put the needle in, she got a flash, but it didn't look right. It was a little slow, And bottom line is the supervisor had her do it over again. Well, first try to correct it. It wasn't really that correctable, and she had her do it in the other arm. And of course, I know exactly what that feels like. In front of the patient, you're in training, you have to do it more than once. And so I was grateful that it was me, and I was able to really reassure her that it was completely okay. And I'm like, you were so close on that first one. This next one, you're going to nail it. I just know it. And she did, of course, and she was happy that she did it. And I just noticed, like, to try to do that, try to be learning, and have the patient get angry, and maybe the preceptor or the trainer gets upset with you. It's not a good thing. And it's really important when you're starting out, in particular doing IVs, to gain confidence, because it's really all about confidence and muscle memory. So I'm glad, really happy I was able to do that for her. Calmed down quite a bit, didn't it? So again, RV life, socializing. The woman that suggested that I do come to lunch and do a video on that, and she ended up saying, hey, I think I saw your video when you did it there, Les. Turns out she should. That got me another subscriber, and it got me to know someone else, that when they see me, they know who I am. And that is all about becoming part of a community, right? And it all was because I had to wait. I had to wait in line. And here's a funny thing. I ordered the California Scramble quesadilla. Now, the thing is, you can have any scramble on the menu, you can have made into a quesadilla, basically for the same price. So the woman that was cooking delivered the box to me, and I opened it, and it was just the scramble. And before I could say anything, the woman next to me that I've been talking to said, that isn't what he ordered. She knew I ordered what I did last time when she saw the video like a month ago. And the lady's face, the cook's face dropped. I said, that's not a problem. You just take that, put it on top of the tortilla, put it on the grill. Let's not waste anything. And that made her happy, and she did that. It was just perfect. And it's wonderful. So again, waiting in line in places and engaging people in conversation is a really good idea. And here's the thing, that I know someone, I'm not saying this is you, I'm saying it could be you, male or female. This one happened to be a male, who, nicest guy in the world. But if you don't know him, your impression would be, well, that guy seems like kind of a jerk, based on his facial expressions. And he didn't know it. Right? Have you ever heard someone kid someone else saying, are you okay? And they say yes, and they say, well, tell your face. And what they mean is, your face is conveying an attitude or an emotion that is inaccurate. And the way to tell that is to take natural, have someone take natural, every day, during the day, shots of your face, right? And then maybe have another person look at those face shots and say, what do you think emotionally is going on? And if you're constantly getting annoyed, angry, bored, if you're getting negative stuff, and you're going, I wasn't feeling those things at all, then what you need to do, if you want to resolve that, is to kind of practice smiling. smiling with your lips and with your eyes, right? There's a difference. So that can transform how other people see you, especially strangers in public, like standing in line. I make I make an effort because I enjoy meeting people in public so much. When I'm standing in line, I make an effort to, I don't know how else to say that other than I consciously soften my face. And if someone gives me any kind of eye contact, I smile and maybe not. And that's inviting people in to interact with you. So that's another good piece of RV advice. Try to pay attention to what your face is telling people. And some people, it's natural. They look friendly and open all the time, and people describe those people as, oh, she or he is, they're very approachable. And what they mean is their body language and mostly their facial expression sends the message, hey, I'm friendly, I'll be nice to you. When someone isn't approachable, their body language and their face is saying, you're taking a risk if you talk to me. There's the RV nomad interpersonal lesson for the day. And I'm going to sign off and ride through this rainstorm.